refuse to report to school buildings beginning Monday. Union's House of Delegates yesterday approved a measure that would see all members refuse to work in person until an agreement is reached with CPS and the CPU on health and safety protocols that they are demanding. Over 4,800 new COVID-19 cases are being reported in the state, along with 107 deaths that may be linked to COVID-19. That strong derecho that blew destruction across the Midwest last August is now believed to be the costliest 24-hour storm in 4 decades. The storm packed wind gusts of more than 90 miles an hour and flattened millions of acres in crops from South Dakota to Ohio. The storm is believed to have now caused $11 billion in damage. Northwestern's losing streak is at 6 games, falling to number 10 Wisconsin 68-52. The news service of Staples stores. This week, Staples Marbleized comp books, one-subject notebooks, and Elmer's school glue are just 75 cents each. Offer ends 1/23/21. While supplies last, restock for the new semester and save at Staples. 8:34, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher explains the power of big tech.
Amazon, Apple, and Google collude to shut down Parler, yet they're not regulating leftist speech. Big tech, they own all the marbles. They got all the marbles. They're the big dogs. They're in charge. They're now the fourth branch of government, these tech companies.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Charles Osgood. We all know, because we've been told over and over, how important it is to eat a balanced diet and that the nutrients in fresh fruits and veggies are essential to good health. Fine. But for me, knowing that and eating as if I knew it are two different things. I'm a meat and potatoes guy and always have been. So I was thrilled to find out that Balance of Nature capsules concentrate 31 different fruits and vegetables with no extracts or fillers and with all those phytonutrients we need to be in top form. Balance of Nature. It's well named. To touch all the bases, what I do is to take a few of the fruit and berry capsules, the red ones in the morning, and the green veggie capsules later in the day. My body and brain never had it so good. With nutrition well balanced as nature intended, no wonder that these days I'm feeling so splendid.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Frank Vance, co-owner of Egan Vance Insurance Agency on Chicago's Northwest Side and a customer of Signature Bank. In my line of work, we pride ourselves on being there for our clients when they need it the most, and we recognize when someone does the same for us. As Egan Vance was expanding, we wanted to buy a much sought-after building in the neighborhood. We couldn't waste any time. I called Signature Bank, and that was all it took. I didn't have to talk to multiple people in siloed departments with multiple forms to fill out. One call did it all. As the one who was always looking out for my clients, it was a great change to know that my bank, Signature Bank, was looking out for me.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
8:37 in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Travel times are relatively high. On the inbound Ryan, we see delays from 75th to the Skyway where there was a crash. The traffic's packed from the Stevenson into the Burns Circle. It's 36 minutes from 95th to downtown. Outbound 14 minutes. And there's the inbound Kennedy. Delays start at Canfield. There is a stall right at the Hubbard Tunnel in the right lane. It's 42 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Quicker in the Express. Outbound 22 minutes to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower is a 45-minute drive from 390 to downtown. Outbound 30 on the Stevenson. Looking at 30 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 28. Lakeshore Drive northbound traffic stuffy. 18th Drive to Roosevelt. That's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. In the AM 560 Weather Center, sunshine this morning, windy this afternoon, high 38. Currently 30 at O'Hare, 34 Lakefront. Next news at 9, breaking news as it happens. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Ben Rhodes was President Obama's national security advisor, you remember. He's the one that penned an expansive piece talking about, very proudly, about how he manipulated the dum-dums in the D.C. press corps, turning them into an echo chamber for whatever line of argumentation or misdirection or trial ballooning he wanted out into the ecosystem. Here's what he has to say about the press corps' job now. I'm sure they will dutifully follow Ben Rhodes' direction, just as they did during his Obama years.
I think the other issue of Homeland Security, as John pointed out, yes, there's a security issue. How do you identify armed militias who are intent on doing harm? But there's a broader societal issue that it's going to take many years to detox the disinformation, the lies, the hate that has been spread. A whole segment of the American population has been radicalized by what has happened over the last 4 years and by the fact that Donald Trump is no longer there. They can no longer see Donald Trump kind of representing their grievances in the highest office. And so those grievances are going to go back underground. And I think there's a lot of work to be done to deal with the broader societal issues that go beyond what even national security, homeland security professionals could do.
That's quite a chilling statement if you try to attach any implications to it. If you wanted to take Ben Rhodes' advice and counsel, need to detox people who Donald Trump, whose grievances Donald Trump gave voice to, and, under the guise of national security and homeland security because of the hate and the lies that they spew and spread. I'm sure the Fourth Estate will happily serve as the comm shop for this sort of purge. Well, will they? Holman Jenkins, writing in the Wall Street Journal the day before President Biden's inauguration, Jefferson said a free press is democracy's indispensable bulwark. If so, returning courage to our newsrooms may be more important to bringing America back and restoring a semblance of consensus than any job Mr. Biden will formally accept on Wednesday. Returning courage to our newsrooms may be more important to bringing America back and restoring a semblance of consensus than who the President of the United States is. Well, what are the prospects of that, returning that courage? To help us with that question and get some reaction to what Ben Rhodes had to say about purging what he terms hate and lies, pleased to be joined by Stanley Kurtz, Senior Fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. Stanley, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan, thanks so much for having me.
What about Ben Rhodes' comments?
Well, Ben Rhodes is the leading edge of movement among Democrats to try to influence the way the rest of the country thinks, bring them around to their point of view. And what I've actually been writing about lately is a movement that's been going on in the schools, which I think will escalate under the Biden administration and which is already highly advanced in Illinois. I've been working on an Illinois proposal to really turn K through 12 schools into leftist indoctrination camps. And there's a rule to that effect called culturally responsive teaching and leading standards that's already been approved by the Illinois Board of Education, and it's coming up for final approval before the General Assembly on February 16th. And if that rule is approved, then every K-12 Illinois school will legally and formally be charged with doing progressive indoctrination of its students. And I think Ben Rhodes will be very happy with that.
Well, that's right. We've talked about that. We were just talking about Chris Rufo's piece in City Journal about the same happening at a middle school in Missouri, in Springfield, Missouri, which was excellent. That's not if it happens. That's when it happens in Illinois. And so, so you have the purge happening at K through 12, indoctrinators indoctrinating the teachers so they can indoctrinate the students. But then the D.C. Press Corps, if Holman Jenkins is right, serving as the propaganda arm of the state rather than as a check on state power. What's your sense of the prospect of returning courage to our newsrooms in terms of, number one, its import, number two, its possibility?
Well, obviously, the treatment of Biden during the election was pretty pathetically hands-off by the media, and they're going to want to do everything they can to prop Biden up. It's interesting because the press seems to have crossed a kind of Rubicon during the Trump years where they would just openly, it wasn't even an effort to disguise it anymore. You'd pick up the New York Times, and on the front page there would be almost an open editorial as a supposed news story attacking Trump, saying he's wrong and lying and all of these things. So is there any basis for them to go back and being what we've always thought of a press as being? I'm pessimistic about it, and more importantly, I think the public has lost trust in the media, and the media has just divided up into camps and decided there's no point trying to appear as anything other than biased because we've got our supporters. If you step over the line of progressive views now in the mainstream media, you'll get slammed on social media by all of your followers. And so I don't see a lot of prospect of change at this point. I think we've divided into two warring camps of media.
Well, it's more than slammed, isn't it? Media critics out this week, including Max Boot over at the Washington Post, calling for essentially Newsmax and OANN to suffer the same fate as Parler. You have Fox News. There was a rumor Fox News may hire David Rhodes, Ben Rhodes' brother, former head of news at CBS, to be their head of news at Fox News Channel. I mean, talk about the consolidation of opinion and the formal elimination of dissent. That is happening with no apology and no hesitation.
I do think we're headed into dangerous waters. I suspect that if they really do try to totally change Fox News and continue to crush Parler and all of these things, you're going to see some sort of reaction. Hopefully, that will be other outlets that will come to compete rather than people complaining more heartily, so to speak. People have to have a way to express their opinions and hear the news from a perspective that they trust. And if that is taken away, then we're really going to be terribly divided as a country. Biden talks about unity, but if by unity he means that we all have to think the same thing and hear the same perspective, then he's going to be sorely disappointed.
Well, don't you think it would be a good idea then for former President Trump to start his own network or his own media platform somehow, some way, so that 74 million people can share ideas and not feel, like they're being attacked if they say something that the left doesn't like?
I think that's a real possibility that he will try to do that. And of course, if he does, then there'll be folks who try to somehow suppress that. And we'll be back in the soup again. But yeah, I really don't see how you can silence half the country. I just don't think it's possible. And when they try to do it, it's going to backfire on them politically, I think. And we've had a pattern that when Democrats come in and control Congress, they go too far, and that's how Newt Gingrich and the Republican Congress swept in after decades of Democratic rule in 1994. You saw the Tea Party and the push against Obama in 2010. And all the off-year elections went heavily to the Republicans. And I think you're going to see that again if Democrats overreach. And I think they're already overreaching.
Perhaps the last bastion, the firewall, is what we do here, which is talk radio. And when Democrats, socialists get in, you can almost guarantee there'll be the effort to resuscitate the fairness doctrine. If they can't silence you altogether, they can certainly try to manage the content you're able to provide.
I think that's true. I have to say, I had a little personal experience myself in Chicago back in 2008. The Obama campaign, I was the fellow who went and dug in the archives in Chicago and found the history of Obama and Ayers working together. And the Obama campaign tried to keep me off the radio at the time and sent thousands and thousands of people to demand that I not be there. So I personally have a direct experience and a strong belief that the left will try something like that. But again, I just don't think it will work in America. As bad as things are, I think we're still America, and the public isn't going to stand for it, and the Democrats will find that when they try to crush all opposing voices, it's just going to backfire on them. And by the way, to get back briefly to that, the teaching stuff, I wouldn't give up on that in Illinois. I think it can be stopped. There's been a lot of public reaction against it, and February 16th is the big decision in the General Assembly, and I think people can still push back on that.
He is Stanley Kurtz, Senior Fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. Stanley Kurtz, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Attention maintenance coordinators. If you manage an industrial facility, then you know how critical it is to manage a consistent maintenance staff. During outages, when you're shorthanded, Vans has your back.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Whether you need one person for 8 hours or a large crew for a month, we can supplement your maintenance team. Our personnel are trained mechanics familiar with all material handling processes. Our expertise extends to fabricating, sheet metal, millwright, and ironwork jobs. Our men can work alongside your repairmen, or we can provide an entire crew complete with equipment depending on your requirements.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to schedule your maintenance team. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANSindustrial.com. Vans Industrial, working safe since 1964.
I just did, and I feel like $1 million. I took that Balance of Nature, cracked open 6 capsules and some warm water. With that, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. It helps with your energy level. It helps reduce swelling. My mom's been taking it now for a month, and she loves it. She says she has more energy. She can walk up that hill that she couldn't walk up before, so that's a good sign. And sleeping better at night. So do something for yourself. Be proactive. Take Balance of Nature and make 2021 a better year of health for yourself. 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago. First timers will get free shipping and 35% off your new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Made in America, folks. That's good too. Balance of Nature. Go online to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
Famous conservative quotes presented by Automated Systems.
The main vice of capitalism is the